So we got top 10 most criminally understood animals.
Can recognize their
I'm gonna say, what's gonna be my pick? What's gonna be my pick? Mm, which animal is criminally underrated? Like he said, it's criminally misunderstood. I'll say snakes. Snakes. It has to be an aquatic animal. Stingrays, maybe. Stingrays. Yeah, I'm recording. I'm gonna say snakes and stingrays. Those are my two picks. Which other animal? Coyote? Nah. Raccoon? Nah. Which other animal? I'm gonna say snake and stingrays. Those are my two picks.
caretakers and show affection.
Is the audio good? Let me turn it up a little bit. Might not be loud enough.
Will bond with
Is the
certain
audio good now?
individuals and follow them around. Will often bring someone an object and play tug of war. Gentle,
Tug of war?
inquisitive, and very intelligent. You'd think
seal?
all this was from someone describing their
seal?
dog. Actually, these quotes are all from people talking about vultures. The
Vultures?
Jurassic-sized graveyard
Oh,
briefing
nah.
alopecia pigeon actually has the personality of an imprinted puppy. You might not
I mean,
know that because
there's really nothing wrong about a vulture. Like, all they do is just wait for you to die and eat you.
most times people see one, it's either thousands of feet above the earth looking for death or on the ground feeding off it. Truth is, the vulture just might be the
That is
most
kinda ugly,
generationally
though.
misunderstood bird. And in the spirit of Earth Day,
It's
I'm
scary.
going to be talking about the top 10 most maligned and honestly reputationally screwed over
Crocodile?
animals. In my biased opinion. You can't please
Let's see.
everyone, but I like my list, so let's get into it.
The audio is very good.
Starting
Okay,
off, it's
appreciate
not
it.
hard to see how vultures got done dirty. It's pretty hard to earn public favor when you dive bowels deep in a bloated buffalo. Then you add the fact that they'll leak liquid nasty all over their legs to stay cool, projectile
crazy.
vomit in self-defense, and in a world of pretty privilege, vultures have a
Yeah, it's
homely
pretty chopped.
handicap. But anyone who's
It's pretty
worked with them
chopped.
will swear by how smart they are. They're arguably the smartest birds that aren't corvids or parrots, and they're part of the exclusive group of animals able to make and use tools, with Egyptian vultures using a rock to have an ostrich-sized omelet. And yeah, get on their good side, and it's like having a lapdog with wings. Apollo was a turkey vulture who apparently caught feelings for her caretaker, Dave.
Turkey vulture. What the frick is a turkey vulture? Turkey vulture. Is that like the mom's a vulture and the dad's a turkey?
They're also smart enough for a vulture vendetta to be a real
Yeah, they
thing.
pee on their legs
What
to
makes
cool
them
down. They're
underrated
still
is
cool
just
down.
how much worse our quality of life would be without them. Botulinum toxins is the deadliest natural substance known to man, and vultures eat it
They
like
eat it
candy.
like it's
Vultures can
snacks.
also tank tuberculosis, anthrax, and even the
What?
bubonic plague. Folks associate them with
They're
death and
low-key broken.
disease, but that's exactly what they help prevent. And if you want to know what happens when you avoid vultures, look no further than India. With about a 99% loss, vultures in India suffered one of the worst bird blights in history, mostly thanks to a drug given to cattle that also caused kidney failure in the feathery coffins.
What?
And with less of nature's
Damn.
cleanup crew taking care of expired bodies, the number of feral dogs went up, and so did cases of rabies. And if you remember my Halloween video, a rise in rabies might be the biggest
Nasty.
jihad to the human race. But that's not the only social work
Nasty.
vultures offer for
It's like
free.
a zombie
the turkey
virus,
vulture's
bro.
nose is so OP, they've actually been used to help find gas leaks, with engineers putting special chemicals in pipes.
That's a
And
lot
with
of
them being more
vultures.
corpse happy than a necro in a morgue, many places rely on vultures as alarms against poaching activity. Unfortunately, the poachers started to catch on and have been murking the snitch tweeties by the hundreds,
crazy.
even the ones that are
That's
endangered. Worst part is,
that's
they're
a
pretty
lot of
easy targets
vultures.
because it's hard to hide when you're part-time in the sky, and there's no witness protection for a sewer stork. Pretty easy to victimize when you're vulnerable and easy to track, and these are vultures we're talking about. It's not like they have
Like, who's the only predator I can see for a vulture is human beings.
or camouflage
Just 'cause they're
or a
birds,
VPN.
like, they
And you know,
easily
that
just
last
fly.
one would actually help a lot since something like
And they only
NordVPN would
eat
help the
dead
sky
stuff.
caskets go off the grid. Since NordVPN creates an encrypted tunnel for your data, enter to a place in Antarctica or weirdly enough Australia. NordVPN want to enjoy some wild Australian entertainment
that.
without entertaining the Australian wild. The servers of Down Under are only a click away.
Low-key,
The
I
Red
might
Vulture's
invest in
clearly
NordVPN,
invested
I
in
don't
being
know.
a tank of a raptor. With reliable servers,
I think
you
it's
never
good to
have
have
to feel like you
VPN
sold your
nonetheless.
speed for security. And like how the
But you
V-Bird's
need a
liquid
good
assault
one.
protects it from bacteria,
Vultures are evil.
NordVPN's threat
Yeah,
protection
exactly.
shields you from ads, trackers, and malware. along with a dark web monitor to make sure your personals don't end up in the wrong place and leave you.
You know, I wish like most of these like things that do subscription based stuff, I wish they just put like a lifetime subscription where it's just like you pay once and you have access to it for the rest of your life.
More violated than a past tense pig. So to get the most out of your
Nasty.
streaming service, you go to nordvpn.com/casualgeo for an exclusive deal
Shout
on a
out-
2-year
shout out
plan
to you,
plus
man.
4 months extra. With Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee, it's virtually risk-free.
Shout out
Nothing
to
about being a
Casual Geo.
vulture is risk-free. That's why the Condor nearly got wiped off the census.
What the frick is that?
Free. Nothing about being
It has like the face of like an old British guy sitting down. Nebula has that. I bought it. Oh, wait, what's Nebula? A VPN? Yo, this looks so human-like. It's weird.
a vulture
Looks like something from a Tim Burton movie.
is risk-free. That's why the Condor nearly got wiped off the census. But in a W from humanity, conservation efforts help bring the big bird back from the brink. Hopefully people start to come around to vultures.
Ooh, that
Anything
is
that chill with
huge.
capybara can't be that bad. Just too bad you can't say that about
That
number
is
9.
big. Dolphins?
The Grim Reaper once released a gang of guppies into the Amazon and made it our problem. Or at least
What's
that's
that?
what you would think from how much the media gets
Oh,
on them.
piranhas.
You've probably heard that
Oh, okay.
piranhas can undress a cow down to the
No,
bones
Nebula's a
in
streaming
minutes, and that
service.
skinny
Oh, okay,
dipping in a
okay.
pool of piranhas is one way to get blacklisted from breathing.
piranhas,
Truth
bro.
is, these fish felons are
What's that one movie that what's the one movie that gave piranhas a bad PR? Was it Jaws? No, there was I know there was a movie that gave piranhas like insanely bad PR.
mostly scavengers, and when you do see one with an expired body, they're usually not the cause.
They-
but a
they make you
symptom.
think
they
they
don't go out of
eat
their
you
way
up
to
in a few
homicide
seconds,
humans.
bro.
Most attacks involve people either splashing around like prey or getting way too close to a feeding frenzy. But they're basically the bees of water. They don't want smoke, quite the opposite. For all that face,
Also, check
piranhas are
the delay if
naturally
you haven't
timid
already.
and scare easy.
Oh wait, let me move my camera as well. I'm blocked. I didn't even know I was blocking him. He didn't tell me I was blocking him. Put that right there. I'm gonna put this. I'll put it in this bottom half. Piranha 3D or something. Yeah, I know there was a movie that gave them insanely bad PR. Insanely. Delay. Should not have delay like. Zero-second stream delay. No, I want 0. Yeah, I can only, the least I can do is 1 second. All right, let's go back to it. You didn't tell me I was covering that, man.
So
Mr.
much, you
DeVito.
actually have to give them places to
L.
hide in an aquarium because of just how neurotic they are. Also, they're not strictly meat. They'll also eat fruits. They'll eat seeds, leaves. There's even a type that eats mostly river reeds. But that
What?
wouldn't really make a good movie, now would it?
They
Now, I'm
eat
not gonna
leaves,
sit here
bro?
and
What
act
the
like they're
hell?
not
This is
capable of mass
insanely
destruction.
bad
Their
PR,
team
bro.
really did them filth. Jeremy Wade sat in a pool of allegedly trigger-happy piranhas and didn't even get touched. And the whole cow story came from a
Insane
Theodore
PR.
Roosevelt hunting expedition where he saw it happen. The catch is, the guides wanted to impress the president because who wouldn't? So they actually
Is it
netted
good
off
now?
a
Is it
section of the
delayed good
river
now?
and starved the fish in it for a week, only to feed them with their cow while Roosevelt was watching. And just like the cow, the piranha's reputation never recovered. Sometimes all
This
it
is
takes is
crazy.
one incident to royally screw over an animal. Something next on the list knows all too well.
Why does he keep showing dolphins? Are they
Let's just
number
get
one?
this out the way. There are some deaths where you never forget where you were the moment you found out. For me, that's Kobe Bryant, Chadwick Boseman, and of course, Khaki Animal Jesus, aka Steve Irwin. And many have had smoke for
I
Stingray.
knew Stingers was gonna be on it. Oh my god. Who's my hand? Delay is slightly long, but not terrible. Still slightly long, but not terrible. Yeah, I think it's like second up. Yeah, I don't know. But I knew Stingrays would be on here. I literally saw a video on Instagram where it was a girl sitting on a beach and she had like 10 stingrays on her body and she was just petting them. And that's the video that made me like, okay, maybe they're not that bad, but I just know like, oh, I probably wouldn't want to be in that situation. He does that for his top 10 videos. Okay. Oh, okay. But I just like, I wouldn't want to be near close to a stingray, bro, because you never know. But yeah, they also have bad PR because it's Steve Irwin, and also because they're freaking called stingrays. Like that's a terrifying name, bro. Stingray. It sounds like a Ben 10 alien, bro.
Kind ever since. But before you go wage war on a water waffle, first we gotta talk about just what went down. For one, Steve Irwin got struck directly in the heart, causing massive bleeding. He also never traveled with anti-venom, because anti-venom was anti-Irwin. Wouldn't have mattered anyway, because it wasn't even the venom that did it. Again, it was the bleeding. Stingray venom isn't even all that fatal, and at the time, it was only the second reported stingray-related death in Australia since 1945. It took over an hour for him to get to emergency workers, but again, it probably wouldn't have made a difference. The point is, literally everything that could have possibly went wrong, went wrong. Like piranhas, stingrays are what a New Yorker might call a scary ad that would rather run away than run a fade. I went to the Cayman Islands a couple of months ago and visited Stingray City, and as someone religiously terrified of the ocean, I can tell you, the crepe of the coast is in fact chill like that.
Yeah, bro, I don't know about doing that. I just can't bring myself to, oh, no, I can't, bro. I think the PR, bro, the PR is just too bad for me, and just the way it looks. Man, I don't know, man. Like, I don't want to be a statistic, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to be, you know, that that 0.001%, you know, so I'd just rather not. I'm just scared, bro. I'm just a wuss.
Do the stingrays.
I don't know if I'd able to.
You're just going to want to drag your feet. Basically, you don't want them to leave the floor in case RNG makes you turn a ray into a welcome mat.
Oh, that's it. It's making me. You know what I'm saying?
Other than that, unless you're a crab or a fish, you really don't have much to worry about. Besides, let's not act like Steve Irwin, the same man that took a love bite from a cobra and said sorry to the snake, isn't somewhere in the afterlife eternally apologizing to the stingray for spooking him. Stingrays have been misunderstood ever since, but we can drop the vendetta. If we know anything about Steve, that's exactly what he would have wanted. Yeah, I'm really gonna have to explain putting dolphins here. Okay, well I feel like this weird thing happened where we went.
I feel like dolphins is reverse PR. Like everyone thought they were good, but they're actually terrible.
From Free Willy to finding out dolphins take that title seriously. So much that we ended up overcorrecting. And I personally and publicly talked endless amounts of shit. Don't get me wrong, the facts I said, I'll say again, and I'll say it with my chest. But me calling them water Weinsteins or homicidal hot dogs or a blowhole bandit, nah, that's actually still crazy. But that's just me anthropomorphizing. I don't actually think they're evil. It's fun to treat them like humans, but they're still just wild animals doing what comes naturally. It's just that what comes naturally often involves them naturally. Actually, I should never mind.
Nah,
look, with intelligent animals, there's always going to be duality, and I don't even need to say it. I just have to show you these two articles. But dolphins can be wholesome too. Like the same way parents will baby talk a toddler, mother dolphins actually do with their calves. They'll also sing to their baby before it's even born to teach them to recognize the sound of its mother's voice. We also found out that dolphins in a pod will often go out of their way to make less noise so to not confuse the calf in the oven. And when it's out, being a helicopter parent means mama dolphin won't sleep for up to a month straight. There's also decent evidence that dolphins get excited around pregnant women because they can detect the fetus and understand the implication of new life. And of course, there are stories of dolphins saving people from drowning and sharks. Hey man, I'm not going soft. I'm still going to get my jokes off whenever I can. I just feel like because they're so smart, people make the mistake of holding them to human standards, which is pretty unfair considering a lot of humans don't even reach those. Dolphins aren't Disney characters or the Spawn of Satan. They're just them. And as the final boss of dolphins, you can go ahead and put orcas in that too.
What comes naturally makes them naturally.
The greatest trick squirrels ever pulled was convincing the world they're just whimsical, nut-loving creatures, when they're actually rodent psychopaths profiting off pretty privilege. They'll eat.
No, some squirrels are they're just crazy, bro. They're just crazy. Like I'm still fascinated by them because like just the ability they have for jumping and climbing. A squirrel actually came up to me. Like I think it was a baby squirrel. Like I don't think it had like a fear of human beings, so like walked up like it was actively coming to me. It was
things like baby birds, baby bunnies, and even snakes. Red squirrels are also part-time cannibals, with males that'll seek and destroy any pups, only to get with the mother of the kids they just murked. Let's not forget that time a group of squirrels dismembered a dog for barking too loud. Also, the number of squirrels with manslaughter charges is higher than you think. It's estimated that chew-happy bushtails cause up to 30,000 fires a year, not only costing millions in damage, but likely barbecuing human collateral in the process. There was even a time a squirrel damaged the electrical system of a complex with NASDAQ, freezing computers and crippling the market for over an hour. That wouldn't be the last time. In fact, one did the exact same thing 7 years later. Now, I know I'm doing the squirrels what I just admitted I've done to dolphins, but in my defense, I have a bias. I once got jumped by a pack of squirrels in Manhattan, and that was one half of a sandwich I never got back. Moral of the story, there's a reason the smartest man in the universe immediately took a knee in the face of the Acorn Mafia. And here you have another case of animal gaslight. Pigs only get the reputation of being dirty because we keep them in filth. I heard pigs have bad PR, like they're not even that dirty. Even though they do look dirty. They taste really good too. You know what I'm saying?
they, they do taste good, but you got to admit, bacon, bacon, bacon is.
In
It's like
reality,
top
pigs
10
are pretty
food, bro.
clean, and when they have a choice, they'll refuse to poop anywhere near where they eat. Pigs are arguably smarter than cats and dogs, and most experts say they're more
What?
trainable too. They somewhat passed the mirror test, and some were even taught to play video games. In '98, Lulu the Potbelly saved her owner from a near-fatal heart attack by rushing out into the road and playing dead until she could get someone's attention and lead them back home. I also feel like we
fire.
forget how well pigs did without us, and from the Red River hog of the Congo, to the pygmy hog of India, to the bearded Borneo pig, the
They
swine
start
is smart
turning
enough
feral
and
when there's no
adaptable enough
human
to live
beings.
virtually anywhere.
turn
On a
crazy.
dolphin-type beat, mother pigs will often sing to their piglets while nursing, and speaking of piglets, they can recognize their name at only 2 weeks old. You can argue pigs are everything we value in an animal. They're intelligent, they're affectionate, they're super trainable. Because they were bred for food, they got big screwed. Look, I'm not gonna virtue signal. You can give me 101 facts on cows, I'll probably still be out here door dashing McDonald's. But it's pretty criminal what we did to the pig's PR. Put it this way, this guy would have been by far the smartest character in the barnyard. They deserve way better than what they've gotten. And I'm not saying you have to give up bacon. All I'm
They're not
saying
even
is,
that
according to
ugly.
cannibals, the closest tasting thing to human meat is pork.
What?
I'm gonna let y'all meditate on that.
What the hell? That can't be true, bro. Pork tastes too good. So they're trying to tell me that human beings taste like pork. Like, so a human skin fried up will taste like bacon. Nah.
Rats are number
I
4, and
refuse
almost
to believe
entirely
that.
because they got blamed for the bubonic plague when the main carrier
No,
of the
rats,
lice and fleas
bro.
that caused it was likely humans
Rats
themselves.
are my offs, bro. I
My
don't like
theory
rats.
is rats are found in cities, and cities are usually dirty, so we often
They're
see
just
all
dirty, bro.
rats as dirty. In reality, rats are constantly cleaning themselves. In fact, one of the ways they bond is by grooming each other. It's called allogrooming. Speaking of bonds, rats can
They do
often
be
form
doing that.
emotional ones with humans, and anyone who's had a rat
This
will
is
tell you,
crazy.
at some point they'll try to groom you like you're a giant rat.
Yo,
Rats can
that's
also
crazy.
provide a public service, with
climbing
many
up her leg.
African poached rats actually being trained to sniff out tuberculosis. The same species has been used to sniff out hidden landmines, and not only can they
No, I
cover the
didn't know
ground
that.
in 20 minutes that would take a trained human days, they can obviously walk across the mines without going back to ground zero. Magawa, the explosive tech rat, earned a gold medal after sussing out 100 mines in Cambodia and clearing
Nah, but rats are
225,000
smart though. Like, most of these animals are actually smart. Like, these animals they're saying that we misunderstood. I feel like the most misunderstanding, the thing that people don't understand about some of these animals is they're actually really smart. Like, rats, like rats giggle. That is crazy. But like, they're smart. They know how to get to the food. They know how to do it. Like, they could also squeeze through tight spaces. Like, it's just ridiculous, bro. They're actually smart. They're actually smart.
1,000 square feet of land. He's not the only heroic rodent. There are several
They know how
stories
to
of rat
hide,
saving
they know
owners
when
from
to
house
come out.
fires where they easily could have hightailed it. You know, if it wasn't for the bad PR, rats just might be the top pet. Only bad side with them is they have short
Nah.
lifespans, and your feelings will get hurt.
I get a rat pet. Wow.
You know, the fact that this is the only
Spider?
animal that needed a trigger warning is enough to put spiders at
You already
third.
watched a
Now, I'm not
spider
going to
video
downplay
last time.
arachnophobia like I didn't used to backpedal to pigeons, but spiders are a great example of bark being way worse than their bite. Take the tarantula. They're
Bro,
like-
I saw a video. Rats are better pets than hamsters. My sister got a hamster one time and it like died so quick. But they're pretty. Rats and hamsters are similar. But I saw a video of some woman. She got bit by a spider on her leg, and literally her leg is like rotting. Like the bite mark, bite place, bite site is rotting, and it's like there's now a hole in there, and she has to clean it. People talk about gosh. That is crazy.
the granddaddy
Keep
of
that away
arachnid
from me.
anxiety, but not only is their venom
Keep that
about as
spider
bad
away
as a
from
bee
me.
sting, not only are they so fragile they can literally explode if they fall a couple feet. Unlike bees, there's no record of tarantula venom terminating a person. Of course, there's thousands of types of tarantulas.
Well,
and
this
some
is
are more
he's
of a
talking.
jihad than
He's specifically talking about a tarantula, or he's talking about all spiders.
others. But then you have the ones that adopt frogs as nannies, with the frog eating all the insects that could grief the spider's eggs, and the frog getting an 8-legged bodyguard. Truth is, there's about 50,000 species of spiders seasoning the earth, and less than 1/10% of them are a legitimate threat to your life. And that doesn't include the smallest spider in the world, the Patuba
Bro, and the
moth.
ladies from Australia too, bro. Like, whoa, that is freakishly freaky, cute, Cuban eyes. I don't know what type of spider is that, but bro, I don't know, bro. One day I do want to visit Australia, but I'm scared. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like it's just not for the weak. Like, people find snakes inside the toilets, snakes inside their shoes, fat spiders everywhere, bro.
or jumping
Australia is a
spiders, which are
different spot.
literally small enough to wear water as a hat. And when you add the fact that they basically have paws to help them walk vertical, and that some like the wolf spider can purr, are spiders not just the cats of
Purr.
insects? Oh my bad, arachnids. According to the CDC, the number of people murked by spiders a year is 7. You're more likely to get slept by a vindictive vending machine.
What?
Okay, you're not impressed. How about this? Spiders eat up to 800 million tons of insects that could otherwise destroy
That is a
crops.
that is a
Thanos
W with
had beef with
spiders.
spiders. Not only
Spider bites don't really cause parts to rot. It's actually a bacteria that gets into the bite. When people assume the brown recluse can make your body parts rot. So what bacteria is that, and where does the bacteria come from? I don't know. I thought it was like it causes like necrosis or something.
would there be way less food? It would be stupid expensive. You can thank spiders for a 4 for 4 not setting you back 400. Not to mention all the pesticides we need to stay alive when ironically turned the earth into a disaster movie. Look, I'm not saying you got a cape for spiders. I know I'm biased. In fact, bias is probably why the next animal's number 2.
What's the next?
I love
It's a
Lion King,
type
but
of
they'll forever get
staph
smoke for
infection,
convincing an
just look
entire
it up.
generation that hyenas
Do spiders cause your flesh to rot? Yes, bites from certain venomous spiders, especially the brown recluse, can cause tissue death, necrosis that looks like rotting flesh, forming ulcers and black scabs. Though most spider bites are harmless and heal quickly, this tissue breakdown happens because of the venom's enzymes, leading to a severe wound that can. So it is the. Also, why is your caps on? It's probably a mistake. It does have a venom. It has the venom, does it, right? Or is Google AI wrong? Nah, bro. I saw the video, bro. It's like, oh man, it's like it was just a fat hole in her leg, and oh my god, the human body is just fascinating at the same time. It's like a bot fly without the bot fly and much bigger. Brother, keep that away from me.
are, well, that. Hyenas got profiled as
Also, remember the
scavengers
AI
when up to
still learning.
95% of what
True.
they eat is something they can get credit for
But it
killing.
has, like,
Gaslight
so
goes
much
crazy
information.
because the literal lion.
Anyway, let's go back.
In fact, bias is probably why the next animal's number 2. I love Lion King, but they'll forever catch smoke for convincing an entire generation that hyenas are, well, that. Hyenas got profiled as scavengers when up to 95% of what they eat is something they can get credit for killing. Gaslight goes crazy because the literal Lion King poaches more food from hyenas than hyenas hoe lions. And since a laugh-happy vice trap eats every part of an animal, like land vultures, the world would be a much
Yeah.
nastier place without the meerkat on a bull.
It just looks like
Everyone
it looks
wants
like
to
a
shit on the
crazy
garbage
wild
man
dog.
until he quits and leaves you with the shit. But honestly, it's the
Still a
stupid
people
part
by
that gets me
itself.
heated.
Yeah.
In experiments, spotted hyenas actually perform better in cooperative problem-solving tests than chimpanzees. You know, the chainsaw with thumbs we share 98% of our DNA with. Hyenas are way smarter than they get credit for. Take Waffles, for example.
They kind of look
Waffles
cute,
was a
low-key. They look cute.
DNA with.
Like
Hyenas
that,
are
this one right here. I remember when I was in grade 2, we did a presentation on the African wild dogs. I remember that. I probably never forget it. We had a shirt and everything. It was like an animal day, and my class was African wild dogs. They aren't ugly at all. Also, people think hyenas are ugly. Nah, they look cute.
way smarter
big
than they
ears.
get credit for.
And this looks like a feral dog, like an African dog.
Take Waffles, for example. Waffles was a lady hyena in a clan, and at the very bottom of it, no less. And in just a year, she went from the dirt under the ladder to the alpha at the very top, and she didn't even have to fight for
What?
it. All she needed was the power of friendship. No, I'm serious.
tough.
Waffles slowly made the right friends, built alliances with other low ranks, earned favor with some of the higher ups, and before the ones at the top could even realize it, the hyena named Waffles had caused what scientists would later refer to as the syrup rising. And you'd
That's
think she'd go
fire.
power hungry once she got the throne, but nah, the opposite. She never
took care
switched
of
up on the
everybody.
ones that got her there. And there were even times where she helped feed the cubs of low status moms. Because hyena hierarchy is more about social networking and climbing the corporate ladder
That's
than
actually
just
fire.
running fades all day. See, you wouldn't know that from just watching Lion King. And while some are starting to come around to this giant maligned mongoose, one movie ruined the last animal's rep damn near permanently.
Nah, movies and media actually do insane, terrible PR to like not even just animals, just people in general. Like how like they use like media for bad PR for black people or just people in general. Or like how Instagram.
There was no
and
way sharks weren't
TikTok.
getting the #1 spot,
It's
and really,
crazy.
any way you look at it, we did this overgrown grief guppy grimy. How about the fact that the shark's KD ratio is about 10 a year to the 100 million that get murked by
No,
people?
sharks, bro. Wait, hold on. Sharks. How did I not think of sharks? It also doesn't help that people are stupid. That's true. Damn, how did I not think of shark? So wait, snakes didn't even end up on the list. Wow, I thought snakes would be like top 5, top 3. But sharks, how do I feel about sharks? I've never seen a shark. Am I scared? Would I be scared of a shark? Definitely. I would not want to be in the water where there's sharks. But I feel like the shark PR is just over. It's like played out, you know. Like there's just so many shark movies. It's like eventually you just stop caring. You know what I'm saying? They got the Meg and the Jaws and all the movies with sharks. But I feel like they definitely have the most PR. They definitely, out of all the animals, they definitely have the most bad PR for sure. This video was benefit from a part 2. What do you mean? What was that? The sharks definitely have the worst PR out of all of them. Man, I can't wait to travel, bro. This year I want to travel.
Permanently.
I want to go somewhere tropical. I want to go to Africa. I want to go back.
There was no way sharks weren't getting the #1 spot, and really, any way you look at it, we did this overgrown grief guppy grimy. How about the
there's so
fact
many
that the
types
shark's
of
KD
sharks, too.
ratio is about 10 a year to the 100 million that get murked by people? What about the
That is
fact that a
crazy.
coconut to the dome or a bathtub accident is way more likely to flatline you than a shark?
This video
There's the
would
fact that we
benefit
have
from a
over
part
500
2.
species of them, but
Facts.
really only about 4 are seen as legitimately dangerous, so I don't blame you for folding the great whites, tiger sharks, bull sharks, and the underrated oceanic white tip. But this is a shark, and it's unproblematic to anything that isn't plankton. Same thing with the bass.
So there's just those 4 ones that are like.
What about the fact that a coconut to the
dome?
dome or a bathtub accident is way more likely to flatline you than a shark? There's the fact that we have over 500 species of them, but really only about 4 are seen as legitimately dangerous, so I don't blame you for folding the great whites, tiger sharks, bull sharks, and the underrated
bro, I wouldn't wanna
oceanic
be
white
near
tip.
that.
But this is a shark, and it's
I feel like my
unproblematic to
heart would
anything that
stop
isn't plankton.
if I
Same
saw
thing with the
him.
basking, aka Kirby shark, which is really just a giant pacifish. Then you got
I
white
think my favorite shark would probably be the hammerhead shark because it just looks so different. It looks so different and so freaky. Hammerhead shark. I feel like that would be my favorite.
tip reef sharks that are not only non-aggressive, they cuddle each other to sleep. And you can't forget the
What?
lemon shark being the golden retriever of the sea that'll often
So
form
that's how the
bonds
baby
with
just-
divers.
they hitch
Blondie
rides.
was
The
an
baby
8-foot
just
lemon
hitch
shark
rides.
that would
That's
go up
crazy.
to divers, but the only thing she'd be hunting for is attention and affection. And while yeah, I'm not exactly a huge fan of this, at the end of the day, I wouldn't want a shark in my living room. You can't be mad when you go into theirs. Because if there's one thing you should take from this video, calling it shark-infested waters is really wild disrespectful. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this video.
Wow,
Make
I
sure
never
you
actually
drink
thought
water.
about that. That is kind of crazy because that's literally where they live. Like they cannot be anywhere else.
Hug your mother, maybe give guppies a break. I promise you loan sharks end way more lives. Shout out to NordVPN for sponsoring this video.
Shout out
and I'ma see
NordVPN,
y'all
bruh.
in the next one.
Cuidado, cuidado.
What's in there? He should have done honorable mentions. My favorite sharks are the thresher shark and the Port Jackson. What the frick is a vulture doing on a police car?
Sí.
Yo, they're just huge, bro. Those are the sharks Hollywood. Yo, what the frick is this shark? This Loki should have been the sharks they put in the movies for bad PR. A thresher shark. He talks about them in his newest videos. Is it this one right here? Let me search up a thresher shark. Thresher shark. Yo, that's a long tail. What the frick? It's an extremely long tail. Let me move my camera back. Wow. And what's the other one? Port Jackson shark. Porto Jackson. Yo, it got stripes. It's kind of ugly though. This is an ugly shark. Oh, this is the shark on the thumbnail. Damn, man, that is one ugly shark.
The Port Jackson shark is a primitive bottom-dwelling shark species. They are from an ancient order of sharks. Port Jackson sharks primarily inhabit the temperate
Don't call him
coastal
that. My
waters
bad, my bad, my
along the
bad.
southern half of
He's
Australia.
got a face only a
They are
Port
often
Jackson
found
shark mother could
aggregating
live.
close to reef
I'll say that.
structures. They are small sharks, less than 5.5
Well,
feet
from the
long.
side, it doesn't look too
They
bad.
have pronounced eyebrow
from the
ridges
front-
and a spine on each dorsal fin. They are nocturnal,
Whoa, got
feeding
spines?
primarily on small
So venomous?
invertebrates that are on or in the sediment, such as sea stars, sea urchins, and crabs. They also eat small fish. They grind food
But
with
they're
their
not even that
powerful
big. They're
jaws.
like pocket sharks.
The front teeth are small, sharp, and pointed for holding and breaking,
That is too
while
freaky.
the back teeth are blunt and flat for crushing and grinding. They typically rest on the bottom during the day, often in caves. They can be solitary, but they frequently occur in small to large groups. Adults segregate into groups of males and females. They are oviparous, meaning
Meaning?
that they lay eggs.
Oh.
The embryo is nourished by a large yolk mass. Male Port Jackson sharks mature between 8 and 10 years old, while females mature
this has a lot
between
of
11
fins.
and 14 years old. Between July and October,
Yo,
males
it looks like God just went on a piece of paper and just drew a shark and just added stuff. Like, look at the fin right here. Like, that looks like, no, it's amazing. It's different. Different and amazing. No, but it's amazing because it's different. Like, look at that. And then it has fins on the sides. Like, it looks like a plane. Like a plane. Like a water plane. It's actually amazing.
and females gather in large numbers to mate. A female lays a pair
So
of
the egg looks
spiral-shaped eggs every 10 to 14 days over a 3-month period. The embryo has an incubation period of 10 to 11 months.
Similar to
Females
humans.
usually place the egg cases in rock crevices on shallow, sheltered reefs. A female can use her mouth to wedge the egg cases into the desired areas. The corkscrew designs of the egg cases serve as anchors to keep them wedged in the rocks. Crested horn sharks sometimes attack the eggs. For
Oh,
more marine
different
facts,
type of shark eats them up. This was a W vid, man. W. Learned about the Port Jackson shark. I'm not. You should watch a shark video with that in the thumbnail. Okay, we'll add that to the list. Should I watch that right now? Frick it, why not? On the topic of sharks. No. Actually, we'll say that for another reaction. I'm gonna end the reaction